The Department of Correctional Services is refuting claims that there is a food shortage at some of its correctional facilities. According to IOL, the department has implemented amendments to its meal plan in prisons. Correctional Services spokesperson Singabakho Nxumalo is quoted as defending the plan, and assertions that it was put in place to cut costs are not true. For more on this, I'm joined by Police and Prison Civil Rights Union spokesperson Richard Mamabolo. Richard, appreciate your time this afternoon. What are you hearing from correctional officers and inmates regarding the alleged food shortages?
Good afternoon to you and the viewers. Look, we do agree with the Department of Correctional Services that there is no food crisis across our correctional facilities. In fact, the amendments to this 12-day cycle meal plan actually guarantees the nutrition of inmates, and of course it's designed to align with the dietary guidelines. So we do not have any issue at all. We think that perhaps the main issue would have been about certain individual who would have tried to protect their business interests as it relates to the links that they've got with suppliers. So we have obviously satisfied ourselves with the fact that there has not been any challenges. In fact, we have obviously been arguing, well, rather debating with the National Police Commissioner about ensuring that our prisons become self-sustainable. And that is where we are focused on, which is a program that the Minister has committed to. And we feel that through that program, we will be able to ensure that in the coming future, we have got inmates producing their own food, furniture, and all these other items that they would need to actually be in a position to better rehabilitate themselves. Because we have got currently a situation wherein you've got around 85% reoffending rate, meaning that there is no form of rehabilitation that is currently taking place. So these are the programs that we're looking forward to. But insofar as it's, the food issue is concerned, there is no crisis at all within our correctional facilities.
All right, we'll come back to that issue around inmates producing their own food in a moment. But walk us through how the new meal plan differs from the previous one.
Look, it has not yet fully been implemented, and of course we do not have the full details around it. But of course it does obviously ensure that the food that is obviously given to inmates is standardized in a manner that would ensure that there's a 12-day cycle in line with dietary guidelines that have been obviously researched by the department. So as things stand, we are quite comfortable. We do not want a situation where there's a lot of wastage. And I think you would know that, for example, we spend over 200 rand a day on meals for a single inmate within our correctional facilities. So any measures that will ensure that we limit those resources, but as well as ensuring that they get the adequate dietary needs is something that we definitely welcome as a union.
Well, Richard, if you're not familiar with the meal plan, how can you comment that that the prisoners and those that are saying that this meal plan is inadequate, is indeed inadequate?
Look, we have obviously been engaged with the department, and of course, for what has been tabled, it's something that we think we're comfortable with. It does accommodate for breakfast and all this lunch and supper meals. And the manner in which it is currently planned, it's something which we are comfortable with because it also considers the dietary guidelines, as I had said. And of course, the department would not just have come up with such a plan besides having to engage with the relevant health nutritionists.
So what oversight mechanisms are in place to monitor prison conditions? Obviously, those that look after the prisons themselves might be not necessarily biased, but there obviously has to be a mechanism that allows the checking of these issues.
No, definitely. I think, part of the role that we obviously play is to also look into that. But we must say that as and when the department takes certain decisions, we're of course engaged upon them. So for now, we are obviously comfortable. We think that it would also reduce the costs that have been going into providing meals, and of course then there would be a prioritization around some of the challenges that we feel still need to be confronted within the correctional services. For example, there's been a shortage of staff members and of course overcrowding, which has been spoken about quite from every corridors. So those are some of the things that we think should be prioritized as opposed to complaining about the food issue as is the current state of affairs.
Very quickly, Richard, I just have a minute. Just walk us through some of those programs that you talk about that you expect to be implemented that will allow the prisons to make a saving and obviously to start growing their own food.
Yeah, look, the main program here is self-sustainability. It's something that we've been engaged with the minister and the commissioner about, and of course there's an agreement. We've got prisons that have got farms already, which are producing, dairy, milk, and all these other utilities that are needed. But we also need to go further into ensuring that the uniform that inmates wear, the furniture that they use is produced by them. That will obviously cut down on the costs that have been a burden for the department over the years.
Richard Mamabolo, Police and Prison Civil Rights Union spokesperson. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us this afternoon. And he's refuting claims that there are indeed food shortages in some of South Africa's prisons.